Well, hello there, guys. Let's talk Luke Cage Season 2. I'm watching my way through The Defenders again, so you don't have to on Disney+. And realistically, this is one of my favorite Defenders seasons. And I think there's a couple of reasons why. I think number one, that I like Mike Coulter in this role, and I see some of the people in like Marvel message boards that say you need somebody a little bit more charismatic for Power Man, but I think he's really good in this role. He's really cool in this role. I mean, it's somebody that you could see as just being that everyday guy around Harlem that just has superpowers. So that's number one. I think number two, I think this has one of my favorite villains in the Netflix Defender shows. When you look at Mustafa Shakir as Bushmaster, he is one of the most menacing. He's one of the ones that has some motivation, and you can kind of understand his motivation. I think the one challenge with his motivation is you don't really get that story till later in the season, so you're kind of going, why is he after the Stokes family? Like, what's the history there? Like, what's going on there? Does he just want Harlem just because he wants Harlem? But as you get later in the season, you get a really deep history of kind of the conflict with the Stokes, and it's a family conflict over years and years, and you can see his motivation. I think when you look at somebody like Alfre Woodard as Mariah Dillard. Alfre Woodard's great. She's great in everything she does. And really, too, I love Theo Rossi. I was a big Sons of Anarchy fan, so him as Shades, you can see that menacing kind of what's his motivation style in there. So I think this is the season that has some of the richest characters, and even the side characters are really good. Reggie Cathy as Luke Cage's dad is a great character. Rosario Dawson's always great as Claire Temple. So there's lots and lots of things that you can take from this season and really go and see it out well. I think it doesn't fully get past the issues that plagued season one, where after Mahershala Ali leaves the show, season one kind of goes off the rails, but it does still have some of those issues, some of those pacing issues. Really, as you look at Luke Cage, it probably should have been about a 10 episode season rather than a 13 episode season, just because the kind of main kind of like showdown between him and Bushmaster happens kind of around episode 10. So that pacing issues is one of the things that there. The other thing that I really didn't like is that they get to the end of the season, and it's that pacing issue where they're kind of running out of story. And their decision was to say, okay, if Luke can't beat the bad guys to be the bad guy, where he becomes kind of the king of Harlem, that's just, you didn't have to do it. I don't understand that choice. And so really the tail end of the season is one I really had a struggle with. But as a whole, again, the characters in this are some of the best in the Marvel Netflix series as a whole. Because really, as you look at some of the main characters, like Daredevil's I like Daredevil as a character more than Luke Cage. I think really Kristen Ritter is really good in that Jessica Jones role, maybe a little bit better than Mike Coulter. But I think as you look at those series, they don't have the side characters that this one does. When you think of the Daredevil series, really the main side character that really matters there, well, there's some other ones, but they go on, they're almost shoehorned in. Like the Punisher in Daredevil is kind of shoehorned in. But then Wilson Fisk is the only side character, and he's one of the best side characters and villains in the whole series. He's probably the best villain. But there's not those extra characters. Like, I'm not a big Karen Page person. Foggy is okay. The ones in this show, even the like minor roles, are great. But it doesn't have the same pacing as something like Daredevil, where especially season one. And I haven't gotten to season 3, but from what I remember, season 3. So really, the pace in the show, the final part is the issue. The characters are great.